Actually, today I wanted to use the Firebase and integrate into this Unity, but I realized the Firebase SDK. Let me just go here. Firebase Google. So I tried creating a Firebase, all right, and I realized that the Firebase can only use the SDK for Android and iOS. So let's see, where's my yeah. So I found a YouTube video that helps you to integrate Firebase. So I created a snake-like folder, uh, basically this one, and then you can just use real-time database to do it. Yeah, you can actually send stuff to this database and retrieve stuff to this database, and this database will basically be able to store like the user and their score, and then we can retrieve the entire set. We can do some sorting, and then we can put it into our database, sorry, into our leaderboards. So that is what we can do. However, Android and iOS has this Firebase SDK, which for WebGL we unfortunately don't have. So I'm still figuring out how to do it for WebGL, and probably tomorrow I'll figure it out, and then hopefully I can code out the entire uh, global leaderboards thing tomorrow. But for today, not to fret. Today, what we'll do is we'll try to do the interface for this leaderboards so that when I finally figure out how to connect this to Firebase, it will be just a matter of like sending and receiving data from Firebase. Okay, so first things first, let's do. So we do need a new canvas right now. So this will be to store the. Okay, so uh, we might need a button here called Submit High Score and View High Score. So in the Submit High Score, we will prompt the user to input their high score. I mean, input their name, and then in the View High Score button, we will basically ask the user to. We'll open up a window which will show us all the list of high scores that are available. So let's just go to our canvas. Okay, so in the canvas, uh, okay, now right now the can okay, I have to open up the new tab called Scene. Okay, and in this Scene tab, we can then see our canvas. So this is the canvas right now. Okay, there's this hard mode button. Actually, what I really should do is to make this a prefab so that it can be shared across it can be shared across games. Yeah, maybe let's name this prefab. Let's name this. I think it's UI. I think canvas is fine. Yeah. So in the hard mode button, you can duplicate this. Okay, and then we can anchor this to the right here. Shift a little to the shift a little down. Okay, so there will be one for submit high score and one for. Okay, so this one will be called submit high score. Okay, then we have another button called view high score. Okay, these two we will need to shift a bit. So here, okay, I think maybe we don't need to prefab this canvas. Yeah, because in hard mode and normal mode, this part on the left changes. So let's just unpack prefab completely and delete away this canvas prefab. Yeah, I don't think we need on hindsight. Okay, so over here we have submit high score and we have view high score. So in the text here, and then over here we have view high scores. Okay, so maybe the submit button can be a different color. How's this dark blue? Yeah, I think this is fine. This one can be the same color as the other one. Let's just take a look. The color combi kind of. Okay, I think I'm more of the opinion that this should be the same color as the high scores itself. Yeah, because it looks kind of weird to have so many colors. One thing in the game is that we try not to have too many colors combination. It kind of clashes. I think like this would be good. The text I need to change it to black color because the background is a bright background. So the text color is best to be a dark colored text. So we can have two buttons like that. Let's take a look at how it is. Yeah, I think it's fine. Although I think it looks a little wordy here. Okay, it's a bit loud. Yeah, maybe I should change it to submit and then view. I mean, because it's in the high score section, so I just presume people know that it's to submit. I like simplistic games, so if you're too wordy, it looks kind of weird. Yeah, okay, maybe not leaderboard, maybe not view, but we can call this leaderboards. So when you click on submit, it will pop out a window for you to type in your name. Okay, so or maybe over here you could have a name already, and then when you fill in this name, it will submit. So when you submit here, will enter name. Okay, and leaderboard is to see. Okay, it sounds weird. Submit. Yeah, submit. View global scores. Okay, so as of now here, it goes to hard mode because I haven't reconfigured this button yet. But post high score and view global scores will be opening up. Okay, so the post high score would open up a canvas that will enable you to key in your name. Okay, so let's create that canvas right now. So okay, and this canvas we can make prefabs of because we'll be using also in the other hard mode itself. So this canvas will be uh, post high score canvas. Okay, so let's double click on this post high score canvas. Okay, we need to like maybe uncheck this canvas, which will basically just let the current canvas be switched off, and then we can see the new canvas here. And over here, we can create a UI. Okay, let's not create a UI text, but maybe UI. Yeah, I will do an input field actually, but I would like to create like a box here so that you can toggle on and off this certain box. Or you know what? I can just use this exact same canvas. Okay, you can just use the exact same canvas, and instead of like maybe doing instruction text here, we have a new UI. I mean, it's nicer to just use one single canvas. We have a UI image. I make the image slightly bigger so that this one can be like the pop-up box. Okay, the color scheme can change a bit. Yeah, it could be like that. The color scheme could be, I don't know, since it's light blue, maybe it could be purple. Yucks. Yeah, purple's not a nice color for this. Green, yellow, blue, dark blue. Yeah, the game is really light blue, so I'm thinking maybe somewhat of this color here would be good. Yeah, so the game will only have two different colors. And I mean, apart from the hard mode can have a separate color. So this one will be called post high score. Okay, so over here in this post high score, we have a UI input field. Okay, and it will just be like over here. Okay, in this input field, we have a text. The text should be in the fake receipt fonts, maybe middle, centralized, put best fit, max size 100 maybe. Okay, in the placeholder, we will also do the same thing. We'll do a fake receipt, middle, centralized, I mean middle and this is called middle justify. I'm not sure what it's called. Put the best fit, max size 100. And over here, the placeholder text is called enter your name. Okay. Okay, maybe since you have so much space, you can just put the enter your name in huge characters. Maybe you should anchor this to the top. Yeah, then we shift it down a bit after we anchor to the top, and then oops, there will be a UI button here called submits. Actually, I might as well just copy and paste the submit high score button and place it here. Yeah, save me the trouble of reconfiguring it. So our submit high score button will be anchored. So let's go here. This button is called submits. Let's anchor this button to the bottom. Yeah, that looks good, and shift it up a bit. Yeah, so you anchor to the bottom. Okay, we could actually put here maybe 10. Oh no, 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 wrong. Uh, I don't know. Yeah, it's actually this pause Y here that changes. It's okay, we just change it manually. It's easier that way. Okay, one way to do this, right? If you don't want to do this anchoring and stuff like this, okay, there's a easy way to do this that will make this vary according to the size of this original box. And this way of doing this is called the vertical layout group, which we can use as well. So once we do it, look at this, everything jumbled up. We can do everything middle center, and there we go. Yeah, you can have it here. So it will automatically adjust. Let's say you do another button, it will align everything nicely. Okay, but it must be within um, the size of this box. Okay, so this enter your name field will be this. Enter your name. Dot dot dot. Okay, so I do not want it to go double like that. Okay, so we will need to change this. Okay, the post high score button will be called submits. Yeah, so uh, when what this does is that once you click on post high score, you make this submit field appear. Yeah, and then you can enter your name here, and then once you click on the submit button, your name will be recorded. Okay, so firstly, we need to go to this placeholder text itself. Okay, let's go to this placeholder. Okay, I remember there's a way to like specify what you are actually receiving inside here. Okay, doesn't matter. Let's try and see whether we can modify this placeholder. Yeah, we can modify it already. Okay, so the post high score menu is a little. I want you to cover the words if possible. So let's expand a bit. Input field can be correspondingly extended. Yeah, then we can enter your name fully. Yeah, that looks good. That looks good. So enter your name, then you submit. Okay, so this is the input field. So once you change your input field, let's just take a look where exactly is your name stored. Then we can take. So when you click enter here, we didn't put anything here, so it is okay. So let's say I put Han. So where? So the placeholder is still there. Now is the text that changes. So the input field automatically, when you put the input field here, it automatically changes this text over here. So when we click submit, we can actually find out this text, and then we can use this text as our leaderboard name. Yeah. So if this is blank, then we won't submit. Yeah, but you must key in something, then we will submit this. So let's try coding this out. Okay, so firstly, we'll do this. When you click on post high score, it will make this appear. Okay, and then when you click submit, we will print out this thing, this name here, to this window. Okay, at the moment now, it will print out the name only. Maybe print out the name and the score to this window. So it will simulate sending it to the database. So let's do that. So the first thing first, we need to open up our scripts, game manager. Okay, this is because we would like to add in one more component in our game manager. It's called public game object. There is actually this high score. High score submit high. Uh, let's call it post high score. Yeah. Okay, I'm not using snake case, so it's a little weird. So high score submit. Let's just call it high score submit. Yeah. So in high score submit, whenever we okay, so we basically want to make this high score submit window. Let's maybe call it high score submit window. Okay, so at the start of the game, the high score submit window disabled. So high score submit window dot set active false. Let's do this first. Okay, so this will be our high score submit window will be false. Okay, and next we will want to. So in this high score window, there's many things, including this high score text. Let's just put this here. Okay, actually this is high score name. Okay, all right. So let's put this here. Unsupported type vector. Let's see. Yeah, there's no problem. Okay, so we do have this high score submit window dot set active false to make it false. Okay, but one thing we want to do is to this is to show high score window. Okay, so what we'll do is okay. So actually, after you click submit, then you will exit it. So I'm thinking whether I want to put an X button here so that people can click it to exit. Mm, or maybe I should do it under the submit button. Submit or exit. Yeah, or one X button at the top here, which is more intuitive. I think a submit exit is better. So let's instead of doing a submit button here, we do a UI game object. Oh, sorry, game object like that. And then over this game object will be called buttons. Okay, in buttons, we can drag in the submit here. And over here, we can just centralize it. So one button is submit. We can just duplicate this to have the submit tool. Here we add a horizontal layout group. It will help us align it automatically. Horizontal layout group, middle, center. Okay, and over here, this one, the reason why it's not going to align in the center is because, like, let's see the pair. I have a feeling it's because of this submit button. Let's just delete one button. See how it goes. We delete away one. So over here, the anchoring is like top left, which not sure. Can I anchor in the center? No, it's driven by the layout group. So maybe, yeah, it's not exactly what I want. I want it to be aligned to the center. So I don't know, either left controls. Okay, I know why already. Because this buttons itself. Anyway, we would like to make this expand out more. Okay, and expand it even more actually. I think the button might be a bit too fat. Yeah, something like this looks more slick. Ah, there we go. There we go. So this button is called the close button. So we can either submit or we can close it. Yeah, looks good so far. The only thing right now is that my top seems a little like, oh, my top over here seems a little high up. Let's adjust the top a bit. Yeah, something like this looks good. So you key in your name, then you submit or you close the, yeah. Let me just check my Unity a bit. Okay, sorry, not Unity, Twitch. Okay, so over here the submit and close button. This is, I think this is okay already. Okay, so we go back over here. Over here, we will like to have this another text also, public text, high score name text. Okay. So we have a few functions we need to create. Where was I was typing something? Show high score window. Okay, so public void show high score. Okay, and a public void height high score. Show high score name window. Okay, then over here will be high score submit window. Okay, maybe we call it high score name window instead, since everything is high score name. High score name window dot set active true. High score name window dot set active false. Let's just do this so that we can make our high score window appear and close. Okay, so these are public methods. All right, which means that we will need to make sure that we add in the game manager to those buttons. Okay, then there's also another window called public void high score name submit high score. So this function would take in the name. So the name is here, high score name text. If high score name text is the same as blank, then return. Okay, high score name text dot. Okay, because if no name, then we don't want. Okay, otherwise, what we'll do is we'll print out high score name. Okay, so over here, we'll put a to do over here. submit this to the Firebase database. So figure out how to do this. So this one is a to do. So you print out the high score name tags, okay, and then plus the high score, which by now should already be configured to the actual high score. So high score is here. Yeah. So maybe I put a space in between to separate the high score and the name. So there will be a name and a high score submitted to the database. Okay, so all these are set already. Let's see. High score submit window does not exist on the current context in line 52. Yeah, oh, I changed it to high score name window. So yeah, so actually over here we can use the function that we have created. It's called show high score name. Yeah, so actually it's hide high score name that we should be using here. So when the game starts, we will hide it. Okay, so in the now let's do the buttons. Okay, so in the buttons, we do have a submit high score here. So in the submit high score, what we'll do is we will okay. So actually in the submit high score, we also need to add one more thing. We will need to put the mode as well because we want to retrieve based on the mode. So where was my submit high score? It is here. High score plus hard mode. Yeah. So we'll key in the name, high score, and mode. Okay, maybe the high score comes first. The exact order will sort out again, but definitely the mode needs to be keyed in. So we need to send this to the database. All right. So the name, the person's high score, person's name, person's high score, and the mode that the score is at. Okay. So next up, we want to go to the buttons. Okay, like the post high score button. Okay, we want to add in the on click. Where was the button? Is this button on click? Okay. Okay, we don't want to take in the scene changer. Okay, but rather we want to take in the game manager. And then the game manager, there's this function called show high score name, and that's the function we want. Okay, then the submit button will also likewise take in the game manager. Okay, and the function that we want from game manager is called send submit high score. And for the close, we also likewise take in the game manager, and then um, ours is hide high score name. There we go. Okay, and if all goes well, I think this should work already. Let's try. So now my high score is unassigned reference. Okay, we forgot to assign it to high score. Sorry, we forgot to assign the components over to the game manager itself. So the high score window is not assigned yet. Let us assign it now. The high score window is here. Okay, maybe I just call this high score window just to align it. Okay, so we put in the high score window, and then we also want to put in a high score text, which is in this one, high score name. This one. Clear this. Okay, let's try and see if it works. It should work hopefully. Okay, so over here, post high score. Enter your name, John CM. Submit. So John CM scored 54 and then it's false. That means it's not the hard mode. Okay, let's try if I were to submit an empty name. Okay, so I would like to say that once you submit, maybe it will automatically let you see the list of global scores straight away after you submit. You can straight away see the global score. So we could link it there. Yeah. So after you submit, you straight away can go to the global scores. If not, after you submit here, the user will think that, what is happening? Yeah. So maybe after you click submit, we should just close the window for them. Yeah. Or we could make, say, high score submitted. But I think it's neater to just close the window and then open up the global high score for them to take a look. Okay, so I think all this is good. Okay, now we do the global high score part. Okay, so the global high score part is going to be another window. Okay, so this was the high score window. For global high score, let us create another one. Okay, so over here in the to-do list for submit high score, to do. Okay, right now, display global high score. So right now, what we'll do is we just straight away, maybe we just hide the high score name after you submit your high score. Yeah, so that if the user submits it. Okay, let me just demonstrate what I mean. So if the user submits it, submits their high score, maybe not post high score, but let's submit high score. Yeah, so we straight away submit. Then I think this is fine actually. We let the user click on global high scores themselves. So I think it is okay. I mean, if you submit a high score, you would naturally want to know what your high score is, right? I suppose you will click on global high scores next. So I think there's no need to straight away pop it up. Why I don't want to do it automatically is because there might be some lag time to update your score, and then once you click on the view global scores, the lag time might not be enough to incorporate your score in if you open it up straight away. I'm not sure about that. It depends on how real time the real time is in the Firebase. I'll experiment on it tomorrow, I guess. But as for now, I think when you submit your high score, the window will just close by itself. I think that is fine. You see, the high score is already submitted here. Okay, so the view global scores, okay, would be a way to actually see all the high scores that are submitted. So let us try to do this view global scores today. Okay. And to do that, we will have a window for global scores. So let's see, UI image. We do the same thing. This one has to be slightly bigger because this contains the list of scores. Over here, the color. Um, okay, for now, let's just take this purple color until think what happens to my text. Image is here. The color changed to some weird color. Okay, here. So this one we call it the high score table. Okay, high score table. Yay, high score table. Okay, so over here we add in text on top. So this one is called the title text. Maybe just call it title. So over here, global leaderboards. Okay, we align it to the top like that. Make it bigger a bit. Okay, the font we can use fake receipts. Okay, middle centralize, best fit like that. Max size we increase to 100. Okay, I think it's like slightly like that. Maybe the color can be white. Okay, so this is a global leaderboard, and then in the global leaderboard itself, we will have some objects here. So UI game objects of create empty. Okay, so this one will be called leaderboard game Okay, let's call this score. mm, Row, score row, maybe we call it score row. I think score row would be good. Row score object. How about this score object? Yeah. So in this score object, let's just expand this out like that. Okay, so I'm just thinking on the left will be the name and on the right will be the score. So I don't think I will have like name and score at the top here. It's kind of self-explanatory, right? So we should have in this game object, we should have two text boxes. Okay, and then when you have two text boxes like that, again we could use a horizontal layout group in order to make our life easier. We can add a horizontal layout group, middle center. Okay, and over here we have the two text box. Here is fake receipt again. Okay, best fit, next 100. Color will be white. Okay, and I would like to make this centralized, expand it out a bit. Yeah, okay, so this object will be the name. We just duplicate this and then this will be the score. So the score we don't need it to be so wide, but the name we need it to be huge. Okay, so over here we want the name and the score to be what do we call that? We want the name and the score to we basically want the name and the score to be the same size. So I'll need to fix a size somewhat. So maybe the max size should be 40. The score max size maybe is 40 also. Okay, so if this is not 40, maybe the max size is 30. And the name, likewise, I max size is 30 so that we can match the score. So the score here can be 60. The name here can be like name. Okay, and in this high score table, let us also similarly add in a vertical layout group, which will help us to align everything, middle center. Uh, okay, what happened to my title? My title has shrunk. Okay, no worries. We'll put it back out like that. Yeah, we can put it back out. My score object. Okay, so maybe we don't want it to be middle center because there might not be enough scores. We put it upper center. So everything goes up. Score object is here. We can add more and more score objects. Okay, so you see the limit right now. The limit is 6. I'm not intending to do a scroll bar, so it means that we need to decrease the size of each score object. Yeah, so you know what? We're going to make the score object a prefab so that we don't have to keep reconfiguring it every time. So let's go and go to the prefab folder. We make the score object a prefab, and then we can duplicate this multiple times. So I intend to have like maybe 10 high scores. Okay, and not to forget that we also need to have a way to close this global leaderboards, which should be the form of a close button. So let's go to the high score window, copy the close button here, and then we can paste it inside here. The high score table, we can paste a close button here. Oh, very nice. It actually could help us to align, and we don't want it to go all the way to the bottom. Like we want to give some room for some blank space because it looks kind of ugly for the bottom, for the button to stick so close to the bottom. So in our vertical layout group, we just oh nice. See, this is the good thing about vertical layout groups. Okay, so if we see here, we have like name and score. The name, actually, I feel that the name should be instead of centralized, we should leftwards align it, and the score likewise, we can leftward align it. So maybe let's do that. Then it will look nicer. Yeah, then we apply this to the prefab. See, look at that, the benefit of prefabs. You can straight away align everything like that. Wow. Okay. Mm, I'm thinking whether I need the number here, but I think it's not necessary because it's kind of self-explanatory to have this numbers here already. So this should be good. So as of now, the high score table should open up and give us this. Okay. And then when you close, we should close the high score table. So let us now do the same thing for view high score name and show high score name. Let's just maybe copy and paste this one here. I don't need this. I think it's quite self-explanatory. Let's just do it here. Public void show high score table, high score table. Okay, so over here is you just call it high score table dot set active, high score table dot set active, and yeah. So in this high score table dot set active, and where is it? High score table. We need to take in a public game object, high score table. So that's what we need to do right now. So and at the beginning of the game, we would like to also make the high score table high, high score submit high score name window and high score table. So this is what we will do. We'll hide the high score table. Uh, okay, so in the high score game manager, we need to put in the high score table. So let's put in the high score table. Okay, and when we put in the high score table, uh, after that, we'll need to add in a function to the submit high score. Sorry, view high score. In the view high score, we will need to change the function. We drag our game manager in here and select the function game manager show high score table. Okay, that should do the trick. And then over here for our do a close, I guess. Mm, I think it's I think it's the close button. Yes, the close button. We need to drag our game manager here, and then we'll put game manager uh, high score table. Yes, that's what we do. Okay, so let's try it out. Okay, we should be able to. Okay, when we click view global scores, global leaderboard will appear. I don't quite like this thing here. I think we need to have some borders. Okay, but I think for now this will do. Yeah, this name unfortunately, I think we need to give it some space to the left. Because now it is aligned to this global leaderboards. Looks kind of ugly to me. Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, except for this name part. Let's align it now. So in this core object over here, maybe in the horizontal layout group, let's just pad the left a padding of 20. Then we apply it to everything. Okay, let's take a look how it looks like in the game. I think it should look quite nice. Yeah, with this slight padding here, definitely looks a bit more pleasing to the eye. Yeah. So now I like to try to mimic setting the high scores if possible. So when I submit the high score, I will update the global leaderboard accordingly. Okay, so the database let us simulate it using like a list structure, and then perhaps we will sort the list and we'll just display the high scores that are the top 10. Yeah, so maybe initially the list will contain like some random names like ABC, ABCD. Basically, you have to make the high score such that there will always be 10 people in the, because the global leaderboards will show the 10 names that are the top. I mean, there are also other ways where you can add arrows left, right here in order to just show people what are the scores, um, the next page and stuff like that. I think that's not necessary for this game. It's either you're the top 10 or you're not. Yeah, let's put it as that. I'm still thinking whether I want to give people their individual ranking in the entire game, but I'm thinking maybe not. Yeah, let's just keep it as top 10 or yeah, top 10 name to be glorified. If not, you're not glorified at all. Yeah. So maybe we will need to put normal mode and hard mode somewhere in this. So am thinking maybe over here in the title, global leaderboards bracket normal mode. Oh, that seems kind of good actually. Then I can bracket hard mode. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine. I can bracket hard mode when we enter the hard mode scene. Okay, but as of now, this global leaderboards normal looks perfect to me. I'm quite happy with it actually. So the only thing right now is we want to from this high score table we can access child objects. Okay, so I mean one way to adjust this is to like go to child objects and then find name, find score. Okay, but I'm thinking of a way that I can straight away, you know, without the need to go find child objects, we can straight away use maybe a script that's attached to score object to update name and update score. That would save a lot of trouble. If not, we need to find child, access child name, access child score individually one by one, which is I think I think that's fine actually. If you ask me, I think it's probably fine as well. But I think if we have a script that okay, so this script will be called score object. So in this score object script, we'll just set the uh, we attach it to the score object, and then we have two functions called public void set name and set score. Okay, so over here, uh, public void set score. Okay, so it's very simple. So we will just access the because we attach it to this score object, we'll access the name and the score variable and update it accordingly. So let's see. Unity get child component, get child object. Access the child of a game object. Okay, so we could do this something dot transform dot get child zero dot game object. Okay, so this would do actually because we only have two children. So game object. Okay, so we could do this. Okay, or the other way that we can do it, which might be better, is to just I guess I really don't really like to put all the it's not in my I don't really like this kind of parent get child get because it has caused problems for me in the past. As far as possible, I like to directly link to the object in question without doing this get child method. So a way to do this is to just have a public variable. So over here we need to use Unity engine.text.ui. Okay, so one way to do it will be to use the hi the best. Welcome to the stream. I'm trying to create my high score table today. So I don't know how far you have followed the stream, but so far I'm just creating the UI for this. And tomorrow I'll try to link it to Firebase. so I'm just setting up the framework today, and tomorrow we'll link it to the Firebase, and hopefully I'll be able to push out the global leaderboards to my game tomorrow. Yeah, so that's all. Quite amazing, right? Like a simple snake game can be such a complicated thing to do if we want to add features. So people who create MMORPGs, it's not an easy job. Oh yeah, no worries, no worries. You can probably backtrack it later after the stream. Yeah, but the idea is today I'm creating the UI for the score, the leaderboards. Okay, so now I will have a public text. So the public text will basically be the name and the score itself. So the public text, score text, let's call it score text, and a public text, name text. So what we do is set name is name text dot text. The text component of the text object equals to name. Okay, this is a string, so not a problem. And over here we have score text dot text equals to score dot toString. We need to do a toString because this is an integer. We store it as a string, and that's it actually for the score object. It's just two methods: set score and set name. Okay, very simple. We'll just put the score object inside the script. Okay, let us open the prefab instance and put it in. So in the prefab instance, let's put this core object script inside here. Okay, let's just add component score text, score object. Okay, so the name text and the score text will be here and here. Okay, so we are done here. Okay, let's revert prefab. I wonder if it's automatically changed for all my prefabs. So you see over here, that's the benefit of prefab. Everything is changed already. Okay, so the last thing you saw was sound edit. Oh, that was yesterday. Yeah, I added the uh, sounds for hard mode. Have you tried hard mode, by the way? Hard mode is, I think it's pretty exciting. Yeah, I mean, I can show you how it looks like. So if we go to here, I can show you how hard mode looks like. So you have two snakes in hard mode, and then you have to try to control both snakes. I didn't set any rotten apples in hard mode because I think it's hard enough. Yeah, so it tests your coordination between the top snake and the bottom snake. There are two sets of apples to collect, but there's a slight catch here because like the middle part is common ground for both snakes. So I find that most of the time I die in hard mode is because I hit the tail of my own snake. Like snake one hits the tail of snake two. So something like that. Oh yeah, I see stuff like that can happen. This apple was meant for the first snake. Yeah. So yeah, do try it. Give me your comments. Yeah, you can either comment on the Twitch or comment on my YouTube channel. Yeah, interested to see how people find this mode. Yeah, it was a nightmare to code it, I can tell you. Yeah. But I had this concept in my head. I really wanted to code it out. Send the oh, you mean this one? Yeah, sure. I send you the link. This one. Yeah, yeah, you can try it out. Yeah, let me know how things go. Yeah. So right now I have created this update function for my score and my name, and that's good. So in the game manager right now, I like to so in the load high score table. Okay, so in the show high score table here, we have a to do here, which is to get the information from the Firebase database. Okay, and then the to do over here will be to update. So over here we will sort the high scores. Over here we will add the high score top 10 high scores to the database. Okay, so first we'll need a list to store the high scores. So let's see whether we can have tuples in C sharp. Yeah, so over here we want to have tuple with name and integer. Yeah, then over here will be item one, item two. Nice. We do have tuples in C sharp. Thanks, the best. Yep. Let me know if you can get above 50 for the hard mode. Yeah, I think 50 is a good benchmark for both modes. If you can get above 50, if you can get above 50, I think you have like sort of mastered the game already. All right, see you. Thanks for being here. All right, let's see. Tuple dot creates. Yeah, I think we can use tuples in order to do the high score table. Yeah, tuples looks good. Okay, so again, let's have a high score table. We can have it as a private variable. So over here we can have, let's say we use a list of tuples, string int high score list. Yeah, let's use a list. We could also use an array, of course, but the list provides us flexibility in the sense that we can add any amount of variables that we want inside a list. But if we use an array, we cannot do that. The arrays need to be predefined already. Okay, unless we have vectors. I'm not sure whether they have vectors in C sharp. Because I know in C++ there is a vector. A vector is a dynamic way where you can like specify your upper limit. Oh wow, they do have vectors. Actually, C sharp has quite a lot of. Oh, there's no actual C sharp. Okay, but either way, it doesn't matter. Yeah, sorting a list in C sharp. So I would like to do some sorting. Sort a list by a property in the object. Object list order dot order by. Yeah, actually this is awesome. Yeah, we could just do this link queue method. Works good. Works good enough. I think this is okay. Yeah, so let us use this using system dot link queue. Yeah, then we don't have to do the sorting manually ourselves. Okay, but first let us just have a high score table. We have a list of tuples. Okay, we go to the tuples and we create something here. Tuple dot create something. Tuple dot create. Okay, so over here, we start. We'll create some tuples. Okay, so I mean, by default, my global database, I should already have some entries that I can either enter it manually in the Firebase itself, or I will just use code and do it. But let's suppose that our database already has 10 entries, and then now we want to see what we can do with more entries. Okay, so let's see in the start here, let's have a function called add entries. Okay, so add entries is a temporary function where we just add entries to our now database. So public void add entries. So over here, I mean, unless I straight away have this tuple thing, I'm not sure whether there's a pair in C sharp. Yeah, tuples. Yeah. I'm thinking everything in C sharp terms because I'm quite familiar with it after doing a bit of competitive programming. So yeah, I would think that C sharp is an extension of C, and perhaps they say JavaScript. Yeah, but I would say that there's a lot of analogies to C++. So yeah, so in add entries, what I want to do is I want to add in stuff to my. Oh yeah, yeah. I was just saying that C sharp has some properties of JavaScript. If you look at like how they do the link queue and everything, it does have the JavaScript kind of feel. I feel like over here. If you look here, you see this one. It does look like JavaScript, right? I mean, to me, C sharp I think is a hybrid of C and maybe C++ and JavaScript. They seem to be a huge supporter of JavaScript. I think JavaScript is quite good. It has a lot of very flexible functions. Okay, but I think there are some bad parts of JavaScript also. Like, for example, whether you should use semicolons or don't use semicolons, it might kind of screw up the code sometimes. Yeah, I think if you know how to use JavaScript well, it can be very useful. Yeah, well, I guess JavaScript does have a better handling of regex than Python. Python really sucks for regex. They should really improve it. I mean, you have to use a library called import re, and it's kind of limited. I mean, after I use Ruby, I think Python really, I mean, Ruby and JavaScript really handles regex very well. Yeah, so yeah, I think JavaScript is a good language as well. Oh, is it? Okay, I mean, for Clash of Code, so far it has helped quite a lot. All right, yeah, let's go back to the game. So, whole engine regex has 10 times option. Yeah, yeah, Python regex is horrible. Yeah, but I mean, there's a lot of applications and even web applications that use Python as backend, like Django. They use Python and they handle regex as well. I guess it's still possible to code. You just need to code a bit longer, but I think it's possible to code it. Yeah, but why use a more why use a language that doesn't really support it that well when you can use a language that can? That's the benefit of learning good stuff. You see, they even use var and C sharp. Yeah, looks like looks like JavaScript already. Okay, so tuple.create. Let's do this. We'll do the add entries here. We'll do tuple.create. Okay, we'll create maybe like a, and then we give it a score of maybe 1. Okay, and then maybe we could just straight away add it here, like this high score list dot add. We straight away do this, then we don't need to store the tuple anywhere. We can just straight away add this. Let's just do this. A, B, B will be 2. Okay, I'm a bit lazy to do so many. Let me just copy and paste. Ta-da. Okay, this is the benefit of exponentiation. You copy 2, then you paste 2, then you copy 4. Okay, in the end, I just need to create 10 rows of it. So E, F, G, H, I, J. Of course, these are not real names, but I just want to test whether I could do the sorting. So when we do the Firebase integration, probably tomorrow, uh, this will come from the Firebase database. But right now, we'll just add the entries in ourselves. Okay, then we'll do the show high score table. Okay, so this one, we don't have to do it. This one will just basically be high score list right now. So to sort the high scores, what we'll do is we'll just copy this link queue statement here. High score list dot order by something dot to list. Okay, so we can do this. High score table dot order by. Okay, and then we do like O. This is like a lambda function, and O dot second item. O dot item two, which is the second item of the score. Okay, so over here, we do have the high score table already. Okay, so what we'll do next is maybe I'll just print out the high scores first. Print out here. Okay, okay. Print high score table. I just wonder whether this order by is it in place, or is this order by in place, or is it not in place? I think it's not in place because they do a to list. So I guess I need to store it somewhere. Yeah, so maybe we have list. Why not just use bar? Have you thought about taking part in JS 13K games competition? What's that? Oh, file limit at 13. Oh, that's a really that, that's really small. Oh, interesting. So it's meant for indie games. Yeah, why not? Yeah, I mean, I intend to do more games in the future as well. Do you do games as well, Kate Spicer? What's the theme? Yeah, actually, why not? I mean, I could submit my next game for this JS 13K. My next game is called Four Buttons. Okay, not my next game. I think the next game will still be the T-Rex jump thing. Yeah, because I'm trying to practice it before I teach some other people in my games club how to create it. I need to create it myself first. Yeah, yeah. I think in the JS 13 games, I will create like a simple UI game for this. I do have this game that I have in mind. It's called Four Buttons, and this game really is because I have a baby boy, and he likes to touch buttons. He touched the aircon button. He touches the fridge buttons. He touches my light buttons, and then yeah, I find that the way he touches the buttons and then he interacts with the object is kind of cool because he doesn't even know what the buttons does, but then he has so much fun pressing it, and then eventually he learns some patterns and like some he basically associates the buttons with a certain kind of effect. And so I just thought, what if we are the baby? What if we click the buttons but we have no idea what the button is saying? Can you figure out how to get to the objective just by clicking on the button and figuring out what changes in the environment in order to find out what the button does, and then use your knowledge after experimentation a while to get to a certain goal? Yeah, so that is the idea for my game Four Buttons, inspired by my baby. So yeah, maybe I'll code this Four Buttons for JS 13K games. Yeah, game concepts. I do have plenty of game ideas in my head. The limitation is time actually. Yeah, because you see, coding one game like coding Snake. This is the 10th episode that I'm streaming. Each episode is about 1 hour. Not to mention that I have 4 hours of debugging that I didn't show when I first created the game. Yeah, so that's about 14 hours already just on Snake. Yeah, if I were to be in the past when before my kid was born, I could do this game dev the whole day. That's about 8 to 10 hours a day. I could probably get this Snake game done in 1 to 2 days. Yeah, but right now due to my limitation of time, I don't have much time for myself. I only have some time for streaming every day, and that's about the only free time I have. But I like streaming because I think the people that we interact with are fun. It's fun to interact, and it's good to just converse about ideas and learn new things. I'm learning things from people every day. Yeah, that's the benefit of streaming, I feel. Yeah. So yeah, yeah, I do take part in the 13K thing. I don't mind taking part. Yeah. I mean, this is also a WebGL game, right? So I think it's fun. It's fine to use Unity, right? Yeah, I don't have to use JavaScript. Yeah, I could just use Unity WebGL. Okay, so let's maybe just print out sorted table I here just to see whether I sorted it correctly. Okay, let's brace ourselves for errors because I think there will be errors. Namespace tuple is not found. Okay, do I need to tuple include? Okay, yeah, no worries. Yeah, see you around. I actually intend to end my stream soon. It's quite late for me as well. But yeah, thanks. See ya. Tuple types T1, T2 is under system. So 39, line 39. Looks okay lah. I think tuple in .NET 4. Why can't I create the tuple equals to new tuple in tuple in? Did I write tuple wrongly? Tuple. Yeah, it's correct. Why did they say this? The type or namespace type tuple could not be found. I'm not sure why they said this. Yeah, what is tuple class in C sharp? Yeah, it's just using system. So tuple. I think it is okay, right? I mean, this is straightforward enough. That is weird why they don't allow me to do this. I mean, if not, I could always do new lists inside here. Instead of tuple, I can do a nested list. which will definitely work because I'm sure nested list works. I tried it out for the snake body and the snake directions and waypoints already. Yeah, this is very weird. Why does it not work? Why does it not work? It's supposed to work. Look at this. It's supposed to work. Let's just copy and paste this. Oh, tuples are not in C sharp 3 V4. Let's see player settings. What version is my .NET? Yeah, we should make it compatible with 4x. Okay, let's see whether I change this. Okay, wait, change the error message. You got to be kidding me. Yeah, we don't have a tuple class. I think it's fine. I mean, it's after all, it's just a struct. After all, yeah, let's just create our own tuple class then. Yeah, yeah. It's weird that they don't have this. I mean, it's just a struct. It shouldn't be difficult. So yeah, like this, that would do. Game object does not contain an extension called order by. Okay, let's see this order by. Order by in C sharp. So order by is link queue function, I believe. So enumerable dot order by using system.linkqueue. Let's see whether I did this for system.linkqueue. I did include it, system.linkqueue at the top. So why is it not? You see over here it works already. High score table is basically something that uh, contains a tuple. You know what? I think maybe I'll just not use a tuple maybe tomorrow. Because since my .NET doesn't have tuple, I don't think. I mean, I can try to see whether it works, but I'm not sure whether stuff like item two will work because oh yeah, actually it will work. Yeah, I can still use tuple because you see item one, item two is defined here already. Good job, whoever coded this. Thank you. Where's that? Whoever coded this. Okay, I don't know where it is already, but whoever coded that tuple implementation, thanks so much. So here this is the ordered by. method, and it takes in. Okay, so let's see how to sort. List order, sorted list, object list order. Yeah, actually, why not we just sort the list in place? Let's just use this. Let's not use link queue. I mean, apparently the order by is giving me problems. So no, just use the sort method for the list. Okay, list. This list is called high score table actually. High score table. High score list. Okay, we sort x y, and then we take x dot item two, compare to y dot item two, and then this should sort it in place already. So here will be high score list I. So let's take a look, see what's going on now. Oh, finally. So over here we print out tuple to, okay, so it's not very helpful because I cannot see. So over here we should print out dot item one dot to string plus a space maybe. Yeah, so this will tell me whether or not it's sorted. So let's see whether it's sorted or not. So let's take a look. Very nice. So A1, A2 looks like it has been sorted. In order to be sure, let's just create maybe B as 20, and then we will see whether B has been shifted in position. Hi, quoted Sava. So I'm doing a high score table today. So let's see whether it has been sorted. Awesome, B has been sorted. So it looks like this way of sorry, it looks like this way of sorting kind of works. Okay, but I want to sort it in a different order. But I mean, it's okay. I can just simply do x dot item dot compare to. Okay, let's just search what this compare to function does. Compare to in C sharp. Yeah, I still haven't figured out the Firebase integration yet, but I'm doing the UI for the leaderboard. So compare to indicates whether it is okay. So it is either negative or greater than. So it looks like if we want to arrange it in ascending order, I just make this. Or actually, I could just compare y to x. Yeah, and that would probably make it in ascending order. Let's take a look. BJI, yeah, looks good. I mean, the name, whether is it in ascending, I don't really care. I mean, the main thing is the score. So, if you happen to score something and you don't get placed on the leaderboard, then that's too bad for you. You have to fight harder to get a higher score for your leaderboard. Stuff like this, yeah. So over here, when we have this, so this is working already. So we can, so this is working. We already have sorted the high score list. And now what we want to do is in the high score list itself, we want to add this to the database itself. So we will need to find object of types, find objects of type. Okay, we call this object score object. Okay, okay, so variable. Okay, So for I equals 0, I over here, what we do is we will do a score objects I dot set score. Okay, it's either set score or set name. So we can do set name first. We'll set name the high score list I dot item one. Okay, and then we'll do score objects I dot set score I score list I dot item two. So this will set the score for the leaderboard, and let's take a look whether the leaderboard is set. Oh, no errors. Wow. Okay, no errors. Index was out of bounds. Which index was out of bounds? This one? Oh, maybe because we never set this to be active, it couldn't find the object. So maybe we set this to be active first, then it can find it. I'm not sure. But if this doesn't work, then we just add in this score objects directly to the game manager. Yeah, let's try it. Nice. Look at this. Okay, but apparently it's not being set correctly. Like, I mean, 20 is not being shown first, so that's kind of weird. Did I do it wrongly? So over here, this find objects of type uh, may not find in order for some reason. Seems like the order is pretty consistent. Yeah, which is weird because I mean, if we were to print this out here, we would see that the printed order is in descending order. But I'm not sure why we never have it in descending order when we. Yeah, it's kind of weird, right? Isn't it? I think it's kind of weird. Look at this. Over here is in descending order, but once we find object of types, we never find it in the same order as this. Okay, so over here, find objects of type by order. How does it determine the order? Yes. No, no. Is there any way to guarantee the objects written by find objects of type? Yeah, I have this issue also. The find objects of type doesn't guarantee the order. Oh gosh, using sibling index. Okay, I've just decided that I'll put it in game manager. I'll put this in game manager because I don't want to do this. So over here we do have what we'll do is we have a list. Okay, I like creating lists rather than arrays. I mean, I could do arrays as well, but list is more dynamic. I like this better. So we could have a public list here. Okay, over here this will be game object. So we call this game objects. So rather than doing this, okay, so actually it's got score objects. So we could do this here instead. Call it score objects. Okay, so in game manager, error, game object could not be found. line number 25. Okay, so I change it to score objects already. Oh, so here this should be score object. I typed it wrongly. And in this game manager, and the score objects. Maybe game manager. Uh, Lock this. So I will want to put all these score objects inside. Yeah, I mean, rather than sort by hierarchy. So this is always the problem with Unity. If you don't do things like you put a direct link here, sometimes you find by child it might screw up your hierarchy. And I don't like it, so I prefer to just put directly the game objects into whatever variable you're doing, like what I'm doing over here. So this should not make the order wrong. And actually, this should do the trick already for the global leaderboards. See, look at that. Everything's nice and good. Close it. Okay, now I want to submit my high score. So in the submitted high score, I would like to, so basically the high score would add a tuple, okay, to the high score list. Okay, so okay, here let's not print this. We don't need this anymore. Okay, here is not a to do anymore. This is already done. Okay, uh, we want to submit the high score. So by submitting the high score, I'd like to add it into our score objects. So score objects. Oh no, we add it to the high score list actually. High score list dot add. Okay, tuple dot creates. Okay, over here we create a tuple that takes in my high score name text dot text and high score. It's already of the right format. Is string and integer. So this should do the trick. Let's try it out. Okay, so it will take in my current high score, which is 52. I should appear at the top of the leaderboard. Submit high score. John CM. It should submit 54. And then once I fill global high score, you see I can fill my own name here. Okay. So if I were to submit again, I will see my name appear twice. Okay, so this is a slight issue right now. I only want each person to only appear in the leaderboard once. So if you have the same name as someone, then you just take your max score. Okay, so maybe in the high score, I might use a dictionary instead of a list for the high score. Then I don't need tuple anymore. I could just use a dictionary. So C# dictionary. Yeah, I do not want myself to add twice. So maybe it's best to do a dictionary class. And in the dictionary class, we could just have certain objects being instantiated. So you can do like this, dot add. Yeah, we could do a dictionary. Sort a dictionary in C#. Oh yeah, my day has been good. Today I had a bit of headache in the afternoon, so I went to sleep. But I think it's fine overall. Yeah, we can also compare too. Yeah, we can do this. Yeah, let's just do this. Yeah, this looks great actually. Yeah, so because I don't want to have the same person have the score twice, so we could just update using a dictionary instead of using a tuple. Yeah, so our high score list could be a dictionary instead. I have to redo some of the code. I think that this will be better. Yeah. So equals to new dictionary string integer. So we can do a dictionary and then like over here. Okay, let's not waste our efforts here. Okay, I mean the dictionary is still got high score list, right? So high score list dot add. Okay, high score list dot add. I mean if you want to add stuff to a dictionary, just need to add like, yeah. Let's just change this. Okay, I think eventually if we use dictionary or we use the normal mode, it should be the same. Okay, I mean dictionary would be better because we can just edit the entry directly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So like in the future, if let's say you have, I mean, even if we take from the Firebase database, it's still nicer to store the entry as a dictionary. I'll see how best to go about doing it, but as of now, I still think a dictionary might be better because like the Firebase thing is a JSON. I mean, you can easily use dictionary as well in the JSON. So we add this over here. We also change it to high score list dot add. Uh, okay, so okay, if the key is already in the dictionary, we cannot do this. So we should do something like this. Yeah, let's just do this like how a dictionary should be. Okay, then over here when we want to sort the high scores, let's just comment this out. Copy the code that we saw here to do this, which is really cool. It's really concise. It's really cool. You just do this. So this one will be high score list equals to uh, okay, so maybe we call this high score dict instead of high score list. Okay, so here we'll just change all of them. Yeah, then we don't really need that tuple because we use key value pairs instead. Yeah, so this is high score dict. Let's just change this to high score dict. Where is it? Yeah. Okay, so high score dict we add in all this. Okay, and then the high score list will be this. My list dot sort pair one pair two will be, yeah, pair one dot value dot compare. Okay, so I think all this is the same. Okay, and my list dot sort will sort in place. So this one will be high score list dot sort. Okay, then everything else should be the same. Let's see whether there's any errors. Dictionary string ins does not contain a definition for two lists. Does not contain a definition for two lists. Okay, convert dictionary. Oh yeah, see you got that, Sava. Convert dictionary to list. Oh, this is Python. Yeah, Python I'm familiar. Actually, if I can code in Python, it'll be very, very easy for me. So list equals to new string. Yeah, there's a to list function, but I guess I need to use system.linq to do this. Yeah, let's just use system.linq and see whether it still gives us any error. Key value pair does not contain a definition for item 1, item 2. There's 156 and 157. So let's see. Aha, yes. Uh, this will just be called value now because it's going to be called key and value in the dictionary terms. So so this one is actually key. Yeah. So let's take a look. Okay. So now it should work already, I think. So we should have the high scores ready. Review here. Okay. So same as before. Let's just swap the order of the pairs because that was in ascending order. We really want it to be in descending order instead. So we swap the value of the pairs. Let's do it now. We have done it already. So we see the high scores, everything nicely done. Submit our own high score. I put in my own name. Submit. You can see that I appeared at the top. If I were to submit again, I will not change. Okay, my high score. Okay, so assuming that whoever has that name, okay, is going to be the highest score already. Because when we set the score here, we basically change this to equals to high score. So maybe I would do something like get the max of like how okay get value of dictionary in C sharp. Okay, so if I want to get by key and I want to use a default way of doing it, okay, okay get value reference dictionary C sharp with default value. Okay, I mean just in case the key does not exist, we want to return a default value. Yeah, sure. Yeah, looks like this is good. Yeah, we could do something like this to try get value already on the default value for the tag to the dictionary. Yeah, maybe we'll do this instead of doing this high score. We have this high score dict dot try get value key and out value. So like key. can be like try get value. Uh, the key will be high score name dot text. High score name text dot text out value, and then it will be out value. If not, it'll be zero. So variable exists equals to this existing value. Actually, this is an integer. We can just call it integer. So we update this one with either the existing value or the high score. So we do maximum of two values in C sharp. See how we do this. Max. Yeah. In fact, we can just use mathf.max. Yeah, we can do math.max or mathf.max. Yeah, I think mathf.max also is good enough. We can just take the maximum of two values. If we do the maximum of ints, they will just give. Yeah, so we can just use mathf.max. High score and existing value. So that should work right now. So see some errors here. The name value does not exist in the current context. The name value does not exist in the current context. Oh, the name value does not exist in the current context. It looks to me like this out value. Yeah, maybe we could just just use this because the default value will be zero. So yeah, maybe something like that. The name value does not exist. Something like that. Yeah, because the default value will be zero for the out value already. Nice. So over here, if I click John CM, I submit. John CM2, submit. Nice. Okay. So Harry, maybe we put maybe Apple. So yeah, it's by order now of submission. So I think it's okay. I mean, eventually there'll be a timestamp or something. Okay, so now what I like to do is I would like to add in a maybe I'll have this as 400. Someone achieve a score 400. This person is called Apple. Okay, and I would like to make sure that when I add in my new high score, it doesn't override the existing high score because Apple has achieved 400. I don't want to make Apple get less than 400. So this is my global scores right now. So now I submit my own name, John CM. I should appear below Apple, which is good. And then now I make myself Apple. Yes, I did not adjust my thing. So uh, it means that it's quite good already. It doesn't change your. So you will definitely submit only your high score. So this is the global leaderboards right now. So it's pretty cool. And I think that should be it for today. Tomorrow I'll try to integrate it with Firebase, but for now I think that's good enough. It has been quite a long stream to do this UI for the leaderboards. I hope it has been useful. Yeah, I'll just leave it there. I mean, in case Firebase uses a different way, at least I know how to do both methods. Yeah, we have come a long way in order to do today's tutorial and in order to do today's leaderboard thing, and I think I quite like the end product. Okay, now the next thing is to integrate it with Firebase, which I hope to learn by tomorrow and show you guys how it goes. Yep. If not, it's late now, and I hope everyone has a good rest. Okay, see you, everyone. Bye.